Are you listening now? To more bass?
Morebass.com. Check this out now. Morebass is one of the largest and fastest growing sound collectives in the world.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Hi everyone, it's Joe Hicks, and this is To Your Success. Today's guest is Scott Weber from More Bass. More Bass is a social media platform for people who love music. And it is a platform that is going to do a lot of big things. This is a startup, and Scott, welcome.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
No problem. So, Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Absolutely. Scott Weber, I'm the CEO and founder of More Bass. I am a Navy veteran and a web developer and a DJ.
DJ?
DJ. Exactly.
Awesome. And let's talk a little bit about More Bass. Sort of give me and everyone else, because I'm still trying to figure this out too. I think this is a great platform, but I think there's so much to it that we all need to learn a little bit about More Bass. So tell us a little bit about More Bass.
Absolutely. So More Bass is a social streaming platform that also has events tied into it.
Well, okay, so it's not a Facebook, but it is a Facebook type. It's not a... So get more detail about that.
Absolutely. So the concept originally came from the site that we built, morebass.com, which began as an independent streaming radio station. And in staying ahead of our competition, we introduced several social and promotional components, including a very dynamic chat room where people could share GIFs and images and have private messaging and do a lot of things that you could do on Facebook. So it began to develop into much more of a social network than a simple streaming platform. So in our traction and in our in the interest that we were receiving from DJs and producers and fans, so we realized in the progress of the site, in what was making the site so popular, and from interviewing the DJs and producers and the fans that were coming over from our competitors, that the social component of the site was so absolutely critical because people were able to interact with each other so much more easily than they are on other streaming services. So really the core concept of it was the ability to connect people in ways that they don't currently have on other streaming sites.
Interesting. So if I were someone who had a band or I was putting out a record or anything like that, this is something that would be very useful, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So a good example is the fact that when we have shows on morebass.com and everybody comes into the chat room and they're able to share images, they're able to share links to productions that they've done, they're able to private message each other and talk on the side as opposed to having to go to another service to chat such as Facebook. The great thing that happens is relationships are formed, and there's a lot of producers and DJs that have actually been doing collaborations as a result, and they've been building their careers as a result of the relationships that they built on More Bass. So as opposed to, or thinking about it as just a better chat room is really not giving it the credit that it deserves. The ability for people to do all the things that they would expect to do on Facebook while participating in a show, listening to music, and being able to comment on other mixes and productions. It's a way, it's almost an icebreaker, if you will, that gets people interested and gets them to make a decision to reach out to this person and see if they want to work together, as opposed to fans, or in addition to fans, I should say, that also want to be able to interact with artists that they appreciate in a much better, more dynamic way.
Wow. This sounds complicated, but how did you come up with this idea? I mean, what drew you in to say we need to do something like this?
So, I would have to say that the very first time that I had an inkling of this idea was
How long ago was that?
over a year ago.
Okay.
So I left the Navy to start an Amazon business, and we had a couple of developers that were working with us, and I'd go over and I would talk to the developers sometimes and just, hang out, see what was going on, and I would oftentimes see some of our developers, have Facebook on one screen and have Spotify on another screen, and obviously no actual work was getting done, but hey, but I would see them talking to their friends about what they were listening to on Spotify and kind of going back and forth and sharing gifts. Oh, you got to check out this artist, or oh man, here's a link to this and that. It's kind of like, so I'm watching, going back and forth between two services to accomplish something that seems like it could be done in one. So beyond that, I had an opportunity actually to help somebody rebuild a streaming website after getting an offer to play on their website when they discovered me on Mixcloud. So morebaseradio.com happened as a result of deciding that I could create a better streaming site. In creating a better streaming site, and in researching some of the competition and seeing some of the things that they were doing right and some of the things that they were doing wrong, started to add the social component into morebase.com, which we negotiated later, and then adding in the promotional aspects of it, creating a member directory and letting people add their social links and their media and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden the interest really increased when people started to find out about Morebase and see all the things that they were able to do.
Awesome. In doing, you've mentioned on a few occasions here as we're talking, your team. You put together a team. Can you tell us a little about your team?
Absolutely. So I was fortunate enough to get connected with Nick Carinos, my CTO. He actually has 20 years in the software and later mobile development industry. He's actually currently building some pretty advanced AI applications, so some interesting stuff is going to be happening with Morebase down the road. So he has actually been as much of a mentor as a technical guide. So he has brought a lot of guidance and experience to the platform so far, and also happens to be a partner with the development team that we're currently using now called Exalia, who they've done some development work and built the databases for some of the largest banks in South Africa. Wow. They've worked with the development team of Walgreens, so they've got a very serious track record. So we've got a very, very strong technical team that's going to be building the platform. Okay.
So what are your goals for Morebase? What would you like to see happen with Morebase?
Well, as of right now, one of the reasons why we actually think we have a very competitive platform is we've been able to not only form a partnership with Shoutcast, so we will have their entire database available to us as soon as we launch the application, but we've also formed a relationship with Eventful, so we have the largest online event platform that is going to be integrated into our platform. So we are right now focused on the dance music industry because I'm a DJ, and I know DJs, and DJs are what's on the platform, and we've already done an event at Wasted Grain a few months ago, had a lot of success with it. It was one of the best events that 3 of the workers there said that they've ever had, so we're building off of that experience and that success. So we are planning on doing larger scale events related to dance music once we release the platform, and then eventually, when the time is right, expanding into other markets and other genres.
Now, is this just inside the walls of the U.S., or is it global?
Actually, the majority of our user base is international.
No kidding.
So we have a very large following in Europe, a very large following in South America, DJs from Japan. Actually, U.S., as far as the dance music scene is concerned, is a little behind the curve, and we aim to correct that with our platform.
Awesome. So, Scott, what is More Base's exit strategy?
So I would love to take More Base as far as I possibly can, especially with the team that I've assembled. I think a smart decision, though, would be not only for us and for potential investors, that it would be a good M&A play.
Mm-hmm.
So combining forces with a notable...
M&A stands for merger and acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
So we think a merger and acquisition play would be smart, combining with services such as TuneIn, for instance, which will be our lead competitor. But
Okay,
if we join forces, then that would be a pretty powerful platform.
awesome.
So
That's a good play. I like that. How did you become an entrepreneur? Because you were in the military, in the Navy, and then coming out, it sounds like you went right into being an entrepreneur, not working for the man.
Actually, I spent 6 years in the Navy, and I'm very proud
Thank you
of
for
my
your
career.
service, by the way.
Thank you very much. At the same time, I realized very quickly that the Navy was not something I wanted to do for the rest of my life because I come from a very strong entrepreneurial background. Family, friends, always gone out and done their own thing and been very successful, and I've always just wanted to build something on my own and to be able to create the things that I've seen family and friends do.
Okay. Who is your mentor? Who do you want to simulate your journey of an entrepreneur that's out there right now that you look at and go, gosh, if I could only do what he's done or she's done? Anyone?
You know, as far as who I look up to as entrepreneurs, I would honestly have to say my parents.
Really?
Yes.
Do share.
My father, actually, he has always been one to shoot for the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And his last venture, actually, it was a seafood company, and it was right on the verge of getting funded, right up until the point that the Virgin Islands Senate shot it down by, I think, 2 votes. So, and he spent 1.5 years building it, and as soon as that happened, he just picked up the pieces and has been going forward with an outdoor advertising company, Soul Images, something that I'm helping him with the website on the side. And I mean, he's in his 70s and he's still out there pounding pavement and, you know, not giving up. And
Is he here in town?
he is.
Okay.
He is,
Okay.
actually. And same thing with my mother. She's still running promotionalitems.net and, you know, still...
It's in the
out there
bloodline,
showing-
entrepreneurs.
It is. I mean, and I have to say them because, you know, they're in their 70s. They're well past a reasonable point to retire and just pack it in, and they just won't do it. They don't give up.
They love it, huh?
They love it.
Awesome.
So, in the blood.
All right. Scott, tell me, what advice would you give a young entrepreneur coming into a startup, coming into buying a company or anything? What advice, knowing what you've gone through, what would you give them? What kind of advice would you give them?
I think the advice that I would give them is probably a little more generalized. The advice that I would give anybody, including the people that I served with in the military, is life's journey will give you a lot of signs for what you should be doing, and you need to follow those signs.
And what you shouldn't, right?
And what you shouldn't, exactly. I mean, I know in my journey and in the journeys of people very close to me, that the people that have followed the signs that have told them where that they need to go in life and not where people have told them to go are the happiest.
What a great interview. Scott, thank you so much for letting me come in here and interview you. Appreciate it.
Joe, thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Great to be here.
So go online to morebase.com and take a look. It's going to come out. When is it going to launch officially?
Mid-December.
Mid-December. Perfect. Okay, I'm Joe Hicks, Scott Weber, and this is To Your Success. Until we see you next time, take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
For me, More Base has given me the opportunity to be heard by a very supportive group of DJs and producers from all over the world.
And let me tell you what I love about More Bass. It's not just an online radio, it's a wonderful community, a family if you will, of amazing talented artists, great people, and beautiful music, all on one fantastic platform.
Bass is not just like a hobby, it's my passion. And the DJs I meet from around the world, they're not just like friends, they're just like a big family. That's the spirit from More Bass.
More Bass is more than just another online radio. It's a place where I can share all my experiences and meet people from all around the world.
Bass, bass, can kick it. Bass, bass, can kick it. Bass, can kick it. Bass, can kick it. Bass, can kick it. Bass, bass, can kick it. Bass, can kick it.